So you can see why I'm extra careful to keep my relationship with Tad on the down low, with Owen around. Which is a shame because Tad's really helped me to become a better employee. Not only do I make fewer math mistakes when I'm calculating payroll these days, but I'm always a few minutes early to work on the mornings after I've spent the night at Tad's, because Tad's college-subsidized studio apartment is a block closer to Fisher Hall than Cooper's brownstone. My best friend Patty wants to know how I managed to find and hook up with the one man who lives closer to my place of employment than I do, and just how large a part this played in my decision to pursue him romantically. My best friend Patty is surprisingly cynical, for a happily married young mother. The morning of my first training session, and possible prelude to a marriage proposal, with Tad, I actually managed to get to the hall director's office before Owen, which is quite a feat. I'd been starting to wonder if maybe my new interim boss lives in the office, since he never seems to leave it. I'm not the only one who's surprised to find the office door still closed and locked that morning. A resident, whom I recognize as spring semester transfer student Jamie Price, blonde, broad-shouldered, and blue-eyed, scrambles up from the institutional-style couch that sits outside my office, looking anxious. Hi. Jamie's one of those girls who ends almost every single statement with a question mark, even when it isn't a question. I had an appointment with Dr. Veach for 8:30, but he isn't here. I knocked. He's probably just running a little late, I say, taking my keys out from the pocket of my backpack. I always carry a backpack and not a purse, because backpacks are roomy enough to fit all my makeup, hairstyling equipment, spare changes of underwear, etc., which has never come in handier more than now that I'm splitting my time between my apartment and my remedial math assistant professor's place. I just need to remember to buy a travel hairdryer. I've kind of got the living on the go thing down. Well, I should, considering how many years I spent on the road, living out of a suitcase with my mom, doing the teen pop star singing sensation mall tour thing. No stage was too small for Heather Wells. Slowly moving my way up to bigger venues, like state fairs, until I reached that pinnacle of success, opening for the boy band Easy Street, where I met the then love of my life, Jordan Cartwright, whose father signed me to the mega record deal that made Heather Wells a household name. For about 5 minutes, before I decided I wanted to have my own voice and write my own songs, instead of singing the sugary crap the studio handed to me, and Jordan's dad finally gave me the boot. And Mom took off to Argentina with my manager, and all my money. Although these are not the sort of things upon which I like to dwell before 9 in the morning, or ever, really. I'm sure he'll be here in a minute, I tell Jamie. Unlike whoever gets hired to replace him, Owen doesn't live in the building. The Fisher Hall director's apartment has sat empty since the old director, Tom, moved out of it last month, having been transferred into a far swankier apartment in the frat building, Waverly Hall, across the park, where he was currently happily nesting with his new live-in boyfriend, the basketball coach. Owen has a college-subsidized apartment just like Tad, but in a much nicer building on the north side of Washington Square Park. Okay, Jamie says, following me, after I'd unlocked the door, into the outer office, which I share with Sarah and 15 resident assistants, students who, in exchange for free room and board, each supervise a floor of the building, acting as advisor, confidant, and narc to about 45 residents each. My desk is on the far side, where I can sit with my back to the wall and an eye on the photocopier, which receives so much daily abuse that I think I could probably moonlight as a copier repair person. I spend so much time fixing it. The door to the hall director's office, separated from the outer office by a wall made up of plaster for the first 5 feet, then a metal grate for the next 2, until it meets the ceiling, is closed. Except that through the grate I can smell coffee.